to Desertwood Days. I am here with a local talent that's been in our industry for quite a while, Miss Dawn Nixon.
Hi, Kathy. It's so nice to see you again.
Such a pleasure to see you.
And I'm very honored that you had me on your desert. Is it desert?
Desertwood
Desert
Days.
Wood Days. I wanted to say that correctly. Thank you for the honor of letting me.
You're welcome. You're
Contribute.
welcome. Such a great I'm so honored to have you here because it's been so long. I mean, a lot of us haven't seen each other due to COVID. And even before that, I hadn't seen you in a while. So it's such a pleasure to see you today.
Absolutely.
So, Dawn, I have seen you posting about your granddaughter dancing. And I wanted to ask you the question, where did she get that from? Are you also a dancer?
I was a dancer in my younger days. I was in ballet. It's body damaging, and after so long, I started I feel like acting and modeling and dancing,
Mm-hmm.
it's all a way of being artistic and expressing yourself.
Of course.
Even modeling, you have to have some personality to really sell the clothes, just like you're selling your part. And when you're
Yeah.
acting and you become it, if you're more method like I am and everything, it's just kind of an exciting part of your life. It becomes another facet of who you are.
Yes. And have you had to use that skill in any roles that you've ever played?
Um, there's in dancing, oh, sure, movement. I've done all kinds of things. I did something for Suzanne Steinberg where I did a movement um, presentation for her film that kind of opened up her film and explained. She likes to have a lot of dramatic explanation for her films, for her plays and everything. So we did a really cool movement thing. I loved that. There's been so many things that have had little parts of maybe dancing. Oh,
Right.
you'll do something like, if it's romantic, you'll do some kind
Mm-hmm.
of a quick romantic
So it's
dance.
always a part of you and what you're
Yes.
doing.
Oh, yes, I love it.
So when did you decide that you wanted to get into the film industry?
Well, I did mostly theater because it was fun back when I was back in Iowa. I've been here for about 20 years now. When I came here, I was told there was a great film industry here.
Hmm.
So I looked into it. Laura Durant,
Uh-huh.
met tons of people. It was such a education about how passionate these people were.
Yeah.
So I felt like I'm not the only one.
Right.
I mean, the passion that they had for their film was something I always had in me for theater, but I just didn't ever utilize it like I do for film. The passion that I've been able to express for the film industry, especially here in Arizona, there's a lot of people that have so much to give and they're
That's
so
true.
talented.
That is so
It is
true.
such an inspiration, all the talented people here.
Yes.
Um,
And you know what? That's why I say, people think they have to bypass Arizona and go else. Arizona has a lot of talent. I mean, no matter where you go, there's going to be some bad apples. But Arizona has the majority. We have a lot of good people.
a lot of great, there's some good teachers.
Yes.
Teachers, there's people that support other people. They advocate for the film industry, for
Mm-hmm.
writers, for the producers, for the whole industry.
Yes. That is so true, and I'm glad that you brought that up because that's something we don't talk about is the work that's being put on in the behind the scenes of people trying to make this state a better state when it comes to the industry in music and film. I mean, and acting as a whole. There's so many people in the behind the scenes that's working. I don't want to say to make this a little Hollywood, but to make Arizona what it's supposed to be.
Arizona is so much more than people appreciate, but we all really are. There's no actor that's really in competition with another actor. Every actor is different. If this part went to into somebody else, there's no reason to not advocate and support because this is where they belong and you're going to
Right.
get you really are going to get where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to support everyone and again advocate for everybody down to the best photographers. There's a better photographer for everything. it is competition, but at the same time, everyone is supposed to be where they're at.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with good competition because, we're always competing in some way, whether we're competing for a job. I mean, we're competing actually, but it's good, positive competition.
Right.
And we're going to get what's best suited for us. Dawn, who was who was one of your role models growing up in the industry?
Um, I grew up watching old movies because my dad liked old movies. There was this actor named Merle Oberon, and I saw her in a movie called Wuthering Heights, and the movie made me cry. The book made me cry,
Oh,
and I wanted to be her. And she's
oh,
beautiful. And then there was Breakfast at Tiffany's with
uh-huh.
and another hero.
Well, you
Um,
know who you have features of that you remind me of, and I can't think of her name. Speaking of old movies, she's the actress that had the big, beautiful eyes. Was it Betty Davis?
Betty Davis eyes.
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know that I don't ever know that I've ever.
yes, it's the beautiful, big, beautiful eyes.
She's an amazing actor. I don't really see that when I look in the mirror, but she's an amazing actor.
She is. She is.
Just that
Yes.
is something to aspire to. Definitely,
Of course. And you know what? That's one thing that, you know what, we can't forget about the past, all those actors that got things started for us. Okay. Because, I mean, their genre work may have been a little different, but we learned from them, really. I mean, as a kid, watching the Betty Davises, the Lucille Balls,
hmm
um, the Hattie McDaniels, those actresses that started off years ago, and our parents and grandparents set us in front of the TV to watch them. That's where we learned from. And I was telling one of our guests from another show, one may not think, but I loved westerns. Me and my grandpa, that's what we used to do, is sit and watch westerns together.
that sounds like a wonderful time to
Yes,
be
it.
able to share that with the people you love and learn
Yes,
to love the artistic side of everything and realize that you want to be an actor and you
yes.
want to create this for other people to enjoy and love too.
So, Don, we were talking about old films and what we learned from them. I also know that you're also a yoga instructor.
I am
I mean, dancing, all of that goes together. I mean, tell us about how long you've been a yoga instructor.
a yoga instructor. I think I started teaching when I was 15 at the YMCA in Des Moines, Iowa. Um, uh, Someone saw me doing yoga and they said, "Could you help out with our class?" And I did. And I've started doing yoga when I was about 4 or 5. It's a long story. I found books at the library and started doing those. And I'd be walking out with them, and the ladies would go, do you know what you're reading?" And I'm like, "Yes."
I've never studied or taken yoga. What is it about yoga that people
Yoga,
love?
the word yoga means mind, body, and soul connecting. And there's a meditation side of it, which is so important. Um, I believe that your mind is only as flexible as your body is.
Mm,
Your body is only as flexible as you let your mind be to lots of things. Um, it's it's hard to keep the judgmental side of you
mhm.
under control. The meditation and the stretching and keeping your body young and healthy. Movement keeps you healthy, whether
Oh,
it's dance, any kind of exercise. I believe it's good for you, but I think gentle exercise. I'm not a big runner. I have
oh.
asthma. I think
So what
running.
you do is yoga.
I do yoga.
Okay.
Keeps you flexible, keeps the muscles long and healthy.
Okay. And you know what I learned too? That is one thing with the personal trainer that I worked with, is that we did a lot of stretching. And stretching, he stressed that's what's so important. I mean, for your health and for weight loss. And I felt better. I didn't feel as tight. I felt so much better knowing that, I mean, doing the stretching every day.
Absolutely. Plus, it warms you up for I enjoy weightlifting.
Mhm.
It's not, I don't do it every day. Like I do yoga every day, but I do weightlifting a couple times a week. But you need to stretch to warm up to keep yourself healthy.
Right.
I talked to weightlifters who became Mr. America. Actually, this one gentleman, he said when he couldn't lift weights, he stretched because it still trained the muscles,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
It's,
So, Dawn, what's next for Dawn in the film industry?
well, I'm open to many things. Um, there are as many parts as I can try out for.
Mhm.
I have decided that I'm going to try out,
Sure.
even if I don't think I'm quite right for that,
Mhm.
because sometimes you can make a part your own.
That's true.
And I've learned that I I was I am called a lot of times for parts. I don't
Mhm.
always. I'm very very blessed that I don't always have to audition. They'll call me,
Right.
let's do that. And I'll be like, I'm not sure that's for me. And then when I get it, I started goofing around with it, and it turned into
And
I
it
loved the
and
part.
it turned you.
I loved it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean that was so. I'm trying to stay open to parts that I
Yes.
even though I don't if I don't feel like they're for me.
Because they may have seen you perfectly in that role.
People see other people differently than you
Yes.
see yourself.
And that goes back to what one of my other guests was saying is that in our head, I want to be Superman. Okay, but I'm not Superman. But
You can be a dimension of Superman. You can be a slice of your version of Superman.
yeah,
I'm
but
Superwoman.
yeah, but getting that director to see I'm Superwoman, that's a different story.
Well, you do have to believe it.
Yeah,
And
I do agree with that.
you have to believe it. Walk in there and
I
hey,
can
I'm
believe it, but he
Superwoman.
may not believe it. Tell us about one of your favorite roles.
Oh gosh, and that's something that's really interesting because when I'm doing the role, it's my favorite role. Everything is I've discovered is fun. I really liked something I did not too long ago for the last American Horror Show. I did a comedic part in a horror film,
Mm.
and everyone was laughing on set, which was great. You know, and it was campy, which I love campy horror,
Uh-huh.
and so that was really fun for me. I wish the part would have been. Um, it was just like a little segment. You have like 5 segments in a film,
Right.
kind of like like Creep Show. When you saw Creep Show,
Right.
there'd be a
Yes.
segment, and that's what
Uh-huh.
we did. And my part was fun and everything, but I would love to do a whole film like that,
Are
like
you
Dust to
dr-
Dawn or something
are
like
you
that.
drawn more to horror flicks?
Oh, I like everything, but I do love campy horror. I've discovered that it's so much fun, even though acting is very hard work. Sometimes you have to kind of let become the part. You have to really feel it, and that's sometimes not as easy. Sometimes it's easier than others,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard. But I like it when I can make people smile and give them more emotions than just, oh, I've been in horror films where I'm crying because I'm the mother who just discovered their child is murdered or something, or
Right.
trying to get them out of the house where this murderer is or whatever. And that's fun, but it's not as much fun as horror and laughing and in love and all this stuff. If you can put it all together, it's such a creation rather than one dimensional.
Awesome.
Like, yeah.
So where can our audience find you, Dawn?
Well, I I'm on many many different sites. I have 65 credits on IMDb. Let's see. I have a website via Facebook, an acting page. Um, I'm on Actors Access. I don't utilize it as much as I should.
So they're all under Dawn Nixon.
They're all under Dawn Nixon.
Okay.
Instagram, Dawn Catherine Nixon.
Okay. Well, it was such a pleasure having you here today. Thank you for teaching us about yoga and dancing and the arts of filmmaking.
It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to see you. Thank you. And we thank you for joining us here at Desertwood Days, and we will catch you next time.